It's good to be back at TIFF. 1995, I was here with this film for this opening, and it was a great night. Rude came out of my experiences of growing up in a place called Regent Park. Regent Park is a housing project, and I spent my formative years there. And so the people that I met there, and the sort of stories that came out of living there, I sort of put into this film. So it's a very special film to me because it sort of speaks to a key moment in my life. I would love to bring up Damon De La Vera, who is my collaborator on this film, and also Karen King. Rude came out of the feature film project out of the CFC. It was the second film that came out of the CFC, and Rude almost didn't get made. In 1993, I made a short film. That film won TIFF, I think, the best short film that year. And I was hoping to make my first feature film in 1994. And the CFC had a board or a sort of committee that was in charge of saying which films got made. And I remember Damon and Karen and I, we did our storyboards, we had our script ready. We went into the room, we spent an hour pitching everyone, and then we left the room, and then they called us back in and said, "We don't like your movie. We don't like your movie. It's not gonna get made." And then I went down to see Wayne Clarkson. Damon, Karen, and I went to see Wayne Clarkson in his office, and I spent an hour sort of like pitching him, saying, I spent all this time, and I've done everything you guys asked me to do. I made a short film. It won TIFF. I wrote a script. I think it's a good script. I think I'm ready to do this movie. And Wayne sat there and listened to me for like an hour, and then he said, "Okay, I will override the board, and you can make your movie." And so I have to thank Wayne Clarkson for starting my career. Wayne, can you stand up?
Where is he? Over here.
Wayne Clarkson. Wayne Clarkson from the CFC. Also like to thank Justine White, who was instrumental in helping us get Rude made at the CFC. We have some of the cast here I would love to bring up. First, I would love to bring up Sharon Lewis. Sharon played Rude. I remember when we cast Sharon, she had hair kind of like that, but much longer. And then she called me one day and said, "No," and she called me one day and she said, "Clement, I want to shave my head for the role." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" She said, "I want to shave my head for the role." And I remember I went with you to the hairdresser and I held your hand while they shaved your head. Next actor I'd love to bring up is Maurice Dean Wentz, who played the General. Also like to bring up Melanie Nichols King and Andy Marshall.
Yeah. Are there any other actors here in the film? There's about 25, so if anyone else was in the film, come on up.
So anyway, thank you so much for coming out and sharing our film with us, and we'll see you afterwards, and we can talk about it. All right, thank you.